Hello and welcome to Bay 1, this is Maraxi and we're just doing a quick overview of the Electroplate patch, which is version 0.6.757, and the hotfixes that lead to version 7.59. Well, as you know, this patch is about Electroplate, which has got a mixed reaction in there's a lot of players that are very unsatisfied with the amount of hit points that it has. I kind of agree to an extent, but it's forcing players to think a lot more about design and how they can actually make use of it in a tactical sense. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they increase the hit points of it a little bit, but that's really going to depend over the next week on what the real feedback is like. Some other changes that have occurred are that each tier is now limited by the amount of CPU that you can have per tier. I think this is probably a precursor to them actually dividing the tiers out into different classes for weapons, etc. But we'll see what happens with that when it occurs. But otherwise, let's just go ahead and take a quick look at the electroplates themselves. I'm going to just start up the game here. I played around with redeveloping my hover donut to actually use electroplate on it. It's not as elegant as my older design. I'm hoping that they release some more shapes for the armor that will allow a bit more flexibility, but overall it's still pretty effective. I still almost prefer my older design though, but let's go and take a look at that first. So yeah, this is the hover donut. As you can see, I had to essentially rebuild the entire vehicle except for the center, stripped down, rebuilt. It's now only got 6 hover blades instead of 8. It's a little bit less stable, but you can see where you've got the electroplates pretty much surrounding the entire outside, and you can spin reasonably fast and absorb a lot of damage before it starts getting through. A lucky railgun or plasma hit is still going to pretty much nuke these, but it works relatively well. And the other design I modified was my flyer, which you can see I've got some tier 10 electroplates on here and some tier 9s. My hovercraft actually only is using tier 8s, mostly because of the size. So these things are otherwise absolutely huge, and trying to fit these on here onto my hovercraft in any kind of real nice design just wasn't working. But in terms of protecting the bottom part of my plasma flyer, that works pretty well. Let's see if I still have these up in the test bay. No, that's the one that I was actually testing the hoverplate, not the hoverplates, the electroplate out in. Let's go and take a look at the tech tree. So they spur off to the left hand side here. If you don't bother to unlock anything, but you get up through the higher tier rail cannons, then you can unlock Electroplate from there. It's a little bit of a weird connection, but I guess FreeJam have their own internal logic where that's concerned. And I am hopeful in that if you look at these empty sections here, that they might actually have central plates that they can release to fill in those gaps. Yeah, that's just a hope that I've got. We'll see what really happens there. And let's go and look at the actual selection of shapes. So starting down here, the lowest tier ones start with 394 armor or 394 shield at 20 CPU. You compare that to a bottom level cannon, you're looking at only 10 CPU for the gun, and they're dealing like 60 damage, so just one of these can absorb almost a full volley of SMGs. and you compare that to a tier 1 block, 88 armor or 136, so you're looking about 3 times the amount of armor at that level. The question is whether it's worth the CPU costs, and that really is something that you have to consider carefully. But yeah, pretty much that's Electroplates. You can check the videos I actually made last night for these vehicles in action. But yeah, otherwise, thank you for watching. Goodbye.